Hey, how's it going? Welcome back. I've been on a break for a while as I've been traveling and moving countries and cities, but I'm really happy to be back and I missed you all. Today's class is going to be focused on breaking limitations that we set for ourselves. I've been thinking about this a lot in my life and also in my yoga class, and one of the biggest places where I see people limiting themselves, and I actually fall into that trap as well, is in the depths of our lunges and our warrior poses. So what we're going to be working on today is a building flow. We're going to be focusing on lunge and warrior 2. And we're just going to work on getting low, getting deeper into those poses and challenging ourselves. A lot of the times we can kind of get stuck in a depth that we think is enough, and we just hang out there, even if we've been practicing for a year or 7 years. So what I'm going to be doing is encouraging us to get lower, to get deeper into those poses, and just see what happens, holding for some time, challenging ourselves. So I hope you enjoy, and thank you for joining me. As usual, we're going to start with a brief centering exercise before we get moving. So find a comfortable seat, and if this is uncomfortable to sit cross-legged, grab a blanket, a pillow, or a block to elevate the hips higher than the knees. And then place your hands on the thighs or knees or wherever is comfortable so that your shoulders can relax, and then close the eyes when you're ready. We're just going to take a few deep breaths here, counting them out to yourself at your own pace. Inhaling, filling the lungs, the belly, and exhaling, just letting it all go. You can take an open mouth exhale. I find that helps me relax a little bit, let go of any tension or stress in my body. And just take 2 or 3 more breaths at your own pace. And then with your next inhale, bring your palms together at the center of your chest, at your heart center. Bow your head slightly towards your fingertips and take another moment or two to set an intention for your class. Perhaps meditating on this idea of letting go of limitations that we place on ourselves, sometimes consciously and other times subconsciously. And just agreeing with yourself that you will challenge yourself in each of these poses and just see what happens. It's all an experiment. Stay open, stay curious. And then as you exhale, just release your hands to the legs and begin to open your eyes. We're going to start off in tabletop. So come onto the hands and knees. Placing the knees hips width apart right underneath the sitting bones, the wrists, shoulder width apart directly under the tops of the shoulders. And then with your inhale, just let your belly drop gently, your chest lift for cow pose. Inhale. And exhale, round the upper back, press palms into mat, cat tilt. Inhale, back to cow. And exhale, cat. Hug navel in towards spine, really scooping out, rounding the belly. And then one more time, inhaling to cow. And exhale to cat. From here with your next inhale, flatten your back. Feel a little bit of engagement of the core, the navel hugging up towards the spine, similar to what you felt in that cat tilt. And then with your next exhale, tuck your toes, press up and back, bringing belly towards thighs, coming into downward facing dog, and beginning to straighten the legs slightly. They don't have to be completely straight here. Maybe bending one knee, stretching out opposite leg, opposite heel to earth, and then changing sides. So we're going to start to connect to our breath here, really pulling in that deep ujjayi breath, that audible breath that slows down the pace, slows down the heart rate, keeps your body calm. And then just take 1 or 2 more breaths in stillness and down dog, drawing shoulders away from ears, pressing palms firmly into the mat, and feeling that engagement of core and navel hugging back towards the spine. And then with your next inhale, bend the knees gently, gaze forward, and as you exhale, walk up towards the top of your mat. Feet are hips width apart. Inhale, hands to shins, flat back. Exhale, fold down. With an inhale, rise to standing, soft knees, flat back, gaze up. And exhale, fold right back down. Again, soft in the knee joints, flat in the back. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, we're going to roll into plank pose. So stack shoulders over wrists, get the body in one straight line. And as you exhale, place the knees down, lower belly and chest to earth. Inhale, tops of feet plant, come up for a baby cobra. Belly is still on the mat. And with your exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg reaches high, up and back, hips stay squared off. And as you exhale, step through, right foot to right hand. From here, lower left knee towards the earth, lengthen the spine, gaze forward. And as you exhale, we're going to step all the way forward to fold at the top of the mat. Halfway lift on the inhale, fold with the exhale, and rise to standing flat back, gaze up. Exhale, come right back down into your fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Down dog, exhale. Inhale to plank pose. This time, chaturanga option, bending elbows 90 degrees, keeping body in one straight line. Inhale, coming up maybe into a higher back bend, straightening the arms, maybe lifting the knees off the earth for up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Left leg lifts, inhale. Exhale, step it through. Lower right knee to the earth, lengthen the spine, gaze forward. Keep your right toes tucked under, and as you exhale, lift off back knee and step forward to fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Fold back down, exhale, and rise to standing, breathe in. Fold, breathe out. Halfway lift, flat back, inhale. Down dog, exhale. Come right into plank pose, inhale. And with your exhale, lowering down, chaturanga or all the way to the earth. Inhale into your back bend, cobra or up dog. And exhale, back, down dog. Inhale, bend the knees, gaze forward. Exhale, walk, hop or step, top of mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Fold, exhale. This time, walk your feet together so big toes touch. And with your next breath in, bend the knees nice and low. Chair pose, arms lift up by the ears. So we're going to gather in the core, hugging navel towards spine, lift the toes, and bring the weight back into the heels. Arms extend high, but try not to let the shoulders lift. We're going to draw shoulder blades down towards the earth. We're going to be here for a few breaths, so feel the inner thighs hug in towards each other. Next, exhale, lower an inch deeper into your chair. Keep core engaged. Try not to scoop out the low back. We want a nice flat spine. Again, exhale, lower an inch. One more time. Big breath in. Big breath out, lower an inch. Hold one full breath. This is where the challenge starts. Inhale, start to straighten legs. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, plant palms. Step right back into plank and lower down chaturanga or to the earth. Inhale into your back bend. Exhale, down dog. Good, take a big breath in through the nose. And an open mouth, exhale out. Release neck, shoulders, knees, legs. If at any point you need to take a child's pose throughout this class, please feel free to do so. Great, next inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step it through. Left knee lowers on your inhale, lengthen the spine and gaze forward. Exhale, straighten this front leg back and fold over right knee. Flexing right toes towards kneecap. Inhale, come back into the lunge, lengthen the spine. Exhale, straighten and fold. One more time. Full breath, lengthen. Bend right leg and exhale, straighten right leg and fold. Good, from here we're gonna come back into lunge. With your next inhale, bring the hands to the hips and tuck your back toes under. We're gonna lift up into a low lunge. Try to stay as low as possible on this front leg. We wanna make sure the knee does not track over the toes as we lift. We want a nice 90-degree angle here. All right, so when you're ready, lift that knee, left knee off the earth. Just hover it, straighten left leg, feel inner thighs hug in. This is gonna be a low lunge. A low, high lunge, so we're lifted. And then with your next inhale, straighten the front leg, lift arms high. Exhale, lunge and lower arms to the earth. Inhale, rise up, straighten front leg. Exhale, lunge low into that front leg and lower arms. One more time. From here, plant palms, step back, optional vinyasa, or just rest in downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step it through. This time, right knee lowers to the earth. Take a big breath in your lunge, and as you exhale, straighten the front leg, flex left toes towards kneecap, and fold. Inhale to lunge, lengthen spine. Exhale, straighten and fold. One more time, your own pace. Follow your breath. Good, and then from here, on the inhale, come back into lunge. Lift up, hands to the hips and tuck your back toes under. Again, we're not coming too high here. We're basically just lifting that back knee off the earth, keeping a nice 90-degree angle in the left knee. So with your inhale, rise off right knee, straighten that leg, really reach through the right heel, hug navel in towards spine, and feel inner thighs hug in towards each other. Inhale, straighten front leg, lift the arms. Exhale, lunge and lower. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lunge. One more time, your own breath pace. Stay with it, breathe. Good, and then plant palms, step back, vinyasa, or rest, down dog, or child's pose. Good, take a big breath in and down dog. Big open mouth, exhale out. Inhale, right leg reaches high. Exhale, step it through. Lower left knee to the earth, low lunge. And with your inhale, come right on up, hands to hips. Keep your back toes tucked. And then with your next inhale, we're gonna come up into the lunge, but stay low in that front leg. Gather in the core. With your next inhale, reach arms high overhead. Keep reaching through left heel. We're gonna be here for 3 full breaths, so try to stay with it. This is challenging. Challenge yourself. See what new depths you can reach. And with your next exhale, plant the palms, down dog or vinyasa. Good, once in down dog, take a big breath in through nose and a big open mouth exhale out. With an inhale, left leg reaches high. Exhale, step it through. Lower right knee to the earth, but keep those back toes tucked under. And with your inhale, come on up, hands to hips. All right, feel the inner thighs hug in now. The core engages, so hugging low belly up and in. And then with your inhale, we're gonna come up into a high lunge, but stay low in that front thigh. Reach through right heel. Gather in the core again, and then lift the arms. 3 breaths here. Try to keep the shoulders soft away from ears. See where you can find some softness in your body, although this may be challenging. Good, on your next exhale, plant the palms, vinyasa or down dog rest. Everyone lower the knees to the earth, take child's pose, sitting hips back onto the heels. Let your arms relax, let your hips and thighs relax, and just see what's going on in your body, in your mind, and in your heart right now. As I mentioned, this is going to be a building flow, so we just have a few more levels to reach. When you're ready, on an exhale, let's meet back in downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg reaches high. Exhale, step it through. Lower left knee, and on your inhale, bring the hands to the hips. Hug inner thighs together, so we want the hips squared rather than one hip angling forward. Good. Next breath in, lift off your back knee. Stay low on that front thigh. Inhale, lift the arms up overhead. And with your exhale, we're going to come into Warrior 2. So spin your left heel down to the earth and open up that right hip. Again, try to stay as low as you can, deeper than you normally do in Warrior 2. Shoulders soft. Inhale, straighten front leg. Lift arms high. Exhale, lunge and lower. Keep back, left foot rooted to the earth. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One more breath here. Inhale, straighten and lift, and exhale, lunge and lower. Next, inhale, spin off your back heel, face forward, high lunge. Exhale, plant the palms, down dog or a vinyasa. If you're taking the vinyasa, lower to chaturanga on your exhale. Inhale into your back bend, and exhale, downward facing dog. Good. You ready for the other side? Inhale, left leg reaches high. Exhale, step it through. Right knee to earth. On your inhale, come up, hands to hips. Take an exhale here, and then your next inhale, just lift your back knee off the earth. Engage through right heel, gather in your core strength. Inhale, arms reach high. And exhale, ground right heel, open up, Warrior 2. Try to stay low in that front thigh. Next inhale, straighten front leg, lift arms high, and exhale, lunge and lower. Good, inhale, reach high. Exhale, lunge and lower. One more time. Mirror the breath with your movements. Next inhale, spin off back heel, arms reach high, and exhale, vinyasa, down dog, or child's pose. All right, once in down dog, big breath in. Open mouth, exhale out. Inhale, right leg reaches. Exhale, step it through. Lower left knee to the earth. Inhale, hands to hips, and then extend off that back knee. A nice deep, high lunge. Arms extend up, inhale. Hold 3 breaths. Try to challenge yourself. Get a little bit lower if you can, but keep that energy in the back leg. All right, from here, spin back, heel down. Warrior 2, try to stay as low in that front leg as possible. 3 breaths. You may feel shaking, that's good. Those are your muscles building. Challenge yourself, maybe go a little lower. Good, last exhale here. Inhale, low lunge, face forward. Exhale, plant palms, down dog or vinyasa. Big breath in through nose and big open mouth, exhale out. Inhale, Inhale, left leg reaches high. Exhale, step it through. Low lunge, right knee to earth. Inhale, hands to hips. Feel inner thighs hug in. Take a big breath in, extend off your back knee. Lift the arms high. 3 breaths. You can do this. Challenge yourself. See what new depths you can reach today. Stay curious. Stay lighthearted. One more big breath in. And with your exhale, spin right heel to earth, warrior 2. Get nice and low. 3 breaths. Notice your heart rate. Last breath. And inhale, spin off back heel. Exhale, palms to earth. Vinyasa. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Good, we'll meet in child's pose, knees to the earth. Take a few more breaths here just to let your heart rate start to settle. So stay in child's pose. So that's as far as we're gonna go today. If you have more time and more energy in your body, you're welcome to do that same flow and hold the low lunge and warrior 2 for 5 breaths each. So this is a way to build and to just kind of test yourself over time. So you can repeat this class in a week and just see how much easier it gets the more you hold. These are these building challenges that we can do to continue to grow rather than staying stagnant and just picking a depth without even really thinking about it. On an inhale, come up out of child's pose, and we're gonna sit with our legs straight in front of us. All right, so find your sitting bones planted and rooted on the earth. Straighten the legs out in front of you and reach your toes towards your kneecaps. Hands by your sides. Try to gather in your core strength and sit up as tall as possible, extending the crown of the head towards the ceiling. Next, inhale, extend arms high. And with your exhale, hinge from hips and fold over the legs here, holding calves, ankles, or feet when you're in a depth that you can sustain and breathe in without rounding shoulders. We want to avoid the pulling of the upper back. So draw shoulders away from ears. Pick a gaze where your neck is not strained. With an inhale, come off the fold, bring the hands back by your sides, bend the knees and bring the bottoms of your feet together here. The closer your hips are to your heels, the deeper the stretch will be. We're going to start with our hands at our feet or ankles. Activate your butt muscles so that you feel the inner thighs extending and opening. Nice flat back, and with your exhale, fold over the legs here. Again, try not to yank with the shoulders. We want shoulders drawn down away from the ears. And breathe. Good. And then since we did all of that work with our thighs, we're going to come into a hero pose. So just bend your knees, bringing the tops of the feet to the earth. You can come up to tabletop to get into this pose. We're going to sit back onto the heels. If this is too intense for your knee joints, if you're feeling any pain, then sit up on a block or a bolster right underneath the hips, separating the feet so it can fit between your heels. Otherwise, sit onto the heels. Tops of the feet are on the mat. And then if this is enough, if you're starting to feel that opening in the tops of the thighs and the quadriceps, then stay here. If you need a little bit more, start to walk your hands behind you. Keeping the knees pointing forward. If you need a little bit more depth, lower one elbow at a time. Try not to lift the knees off the earth. We want to keep pressing the knees down towards the mat. Some people can come all the way back. For me, this is good. I'm feeling this opening in my thighs. If you feel any pull or pain at the knee, then release this pose. No need to bother the knee joints. Good, and then with an inhale, come on up. Sit to one side, bringing the feet out in front of you. Scoot to the center of your mat. And as you exhale, lower onto the back. Hug knees in towards chest. You can point and flex the toes a few times. Rock gently side to side. Whatever feels good, like a nice release in your body. And then plant the feet to the ground, hook right ankle on top of left knee, and open this hip. So you're gonna feel the right knee extend out in line with the left knee. And then interlace the hands underneath the left thigh, lifting left foot off the ground. Breathe. If you need more of a stretch here, if this isn't enough, hook your elbows into this figure 4 that you're creating with your legs. Hug right thigh and shin in towards the chest. Keep right foot as flexed as possible, and then straighten left leg out towards the mat. It's like pigeon, just on your back. But pick a depth that works for you, that you can sustain, and breathe in. We're just looking for some opening in the back of the right thigh and hip. And just take a few more breaths here. Maybe close the eyes. We're cooling down, allowing the heart rate to return to normal. The body to start to relax. Good, and then release left foot, left thigh, and unhook right ankle. We're going to change sides. So this time left ankle hooks on top of right knee, or the top of that thigh. Flex the left foot just to protect the left knee, and then when you're ready, interlace hands behind your right thigh or even on the shin. Take a moment here. Even if you're going deeper, take it in stages, just like you did on the other side. If you want more depth, hook elbows into that figure 4. We want to try to keep the head relaxed, so let the head settle back onto the mat, and maybe straighten that right leg. Pigeon on the back. Again, we're not straining, we're not forcing ourselves, we're shaking in this pose. So if you are, just come back to a lower depth of the pose, maybe interlacing the hands again behind that right thigh. And breathe. Taking big breaths in, feeling the belly expand, the chest lift. And just as you exhale, let it all wash down over you. Next breath, release this pose. Extend the legs out, arms by the sides. Taking the last minute wiggles, shakes, and we're just going to be here in Shavasana for a few minutes. Connecting back to breath. Checking in with the intention that you set before we started. And just see what you learned, what you experimented with, what you tried out today. Maybe new, maybe something you've done before. Maybe a new depth of a pose you've reached, maybe not. Just see how you feel. And return to breath. If you have more time today, more space in your schedule, then stay here for a few more moments. Otherwise, just starting to wake yourself up, wiggling fingers and toes. And eventually making your way onto your right side and up into a seated position. Thank you so much for joining me again, for coming back to your mat, back to your breath, just exploring with me today. Thank you, and namaste.